You should really bring the Knights of Favonius with you next time. I still have a lot to do with the guild. How about you take a rest while I go back?
Steady as stone.
My apologies.
catch up.
Mind the deluge. Cascade.
Take flight!
I suppose this will do.
Leave it all to me, as a good knight should.
Whirling snow!
Steady as stone. I'll catch up.
Add Thank you for completing. Welcome to the Cat's Tail. Ah, it's the Traveler and Paimon. What a nice surprise. Oh, and Sucrose the Alchemist. It's been a while, hasn't it? I'm afraid I've already told you before. Fur from the Cat's Tail staff is not for sale, no matter how much mora you offer.
Don't worry, Margaret. We're not here for that research project I told you about last time. Sucrose, what kind of experiment were you trying to do with the cat's tail? I just wanted to test out some hypotheses, and I needed some materials. But, we can talk about that later. Actually, Margaret, we're here to learn more about Genius Invocation TCG.
Ah, Genius Invocation TCG. We were just talking about that game. You see, more and more people have been gathering at the Cat's Tail to play, so I thought, why not have a dedicated staff to serve the new customers? Speaking of which, I believe you've already met.
Met who?
You know Prince. This is the Cat's Tail after all, so I thought having a cat take care of our new customers would be quite a nice touch.
Allow me to interpret. Prince says that the word customer is much too loose of a term, and we should instead refer to anyone who loves dueling with cards as TCG players.
My mistake. So it seems I haven't introduced you yet. This is Prince and Shuyan. They will be in charge of taking care of our TCG players.
I'm afraid I must correct you there, ma'am. Only Prince, the strongest and most formidable TCG player of all, is capable of providing valuable guidance to our new players. The average player is incapable of grasping the subtlety and sheer genius behind Prince's every play, and he has no choice but to rely on me to communicate with everyone. I am merely Prince's lowly assistant, that's all.
Wow! Another guy who can understand animals!
How can you use such a crude word as animal to describe the one and only Prince? He is special and the only one of his kind. Such a remark is an insult to Prince. Oh? What's that? Shuyan. In the eyes of the common folk, I look no different than any other ordinary cat. It's a natural mistake to make, and you shouldn't overreact. Understood. I do apologize.
It seems he really is capable of communicating with the cat. Could this be the result of some modification to the language center of his brain? Seriously, how can he get all of that from a simple meow?
It was the duels of Genius Invocation TCG that allowed our hearts to bond. It's understandable that ordinary people such as yourselves are unable to comprehend such a thing.
So, playing Genius Invocation TCG fosters some sort of a telepathic link between players? Somehow Paimon doubts that.
Anyway, if you'd like to know anything about Genius Invocation TCG, then please ask Shuyan, who will ask Prince. Though I'd love to explain more myself, it's time for my daily walk. I'll let Prince play a game with you and walk you through all the rules.
Just as a seasoned warrior can foresee the path of his opponent's sword, so too can I, as a TCG master, predict my opponent's every play. It would be improper to pit a newcomer to the art of the card against one such as myself, and I must therefore politely decline. That's what Prince said.
Oh, Prince doesn't want to play with us, huh? Fine, then Prince doesn't have to. We'll play you instead.
I'm sorry, but from the day I met the mighty card master Prince, I swore an oath that my hands would live solely to hold the cards and not to play them. I will never play another match of my own again.
If Prince is unwilling to play, then I guess we should look for an alternative. How about this? Diona!
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. What is it? I'm pretty busy over here, you know. Why is it that every player that sets foot in here to play Genius Invocation TCG has to have a drink? Ugh! Don't they have any clue that the key to playing a game is the ability to think straight? Seriously, games and drinks don't mix. Don't they get that? Ugh!
What can I say? As the tavern owner, I can't help but feel happy to hear this. Anyway, I see you've been working hard, so I thought you could use a break. So why not come over here and teach these customers the rules of Genius Invocation?
Ha!
Yeah, what kind of break is that? I'd rather not. Oh, why are we letting all these loafers come in here to play Genius Invocation TCG anyway? All it does is encourage more people to come to the bar for a drink. If drink sales keep going up like this, pretty soon Mondstadt's alcohol industry is gonna reach new heights. Looks like my first step in destroying Mondstadt's alcohol industry should be stamping out the spread of Genius Invocation TCG.
My dear, you are quite mistaken. You said it yourself, a clear mind is necessary to win. Soon, their thirst for victory will overcome their thirst for alcohol. Prince speaks the truth, Diona. Not only is the spread of Genius Invocation TCG no obstacle to your goal of destroying Mondstadt's alcohol industry, it could even support you in this endeavor.
Could it really?
Sure, why not? Alrighty then. Our 2 customers are waiting to learn. Shuyan, let's put you on drink mixing duty for now.
But Shuyan is destined for a far greater purpose.
Shuyan, drink mixing, now.
Okay.
Ooh, all right. We'll need some space to learn. Let's go to that empty table over there. Okay, let's go through the rules. First things first. You'll be needing your deck, so place that on the table.
Deck?
Yes. You should have built a deck. A set of cards that meets the bare minimum requirement to play the game. What's with the blank stares? Come on. Don't tell me you came to learn Genius Invocation TCG without bringing any cards.
Yeah, we need a practice deck. Can't you just let us use one?
Psh, there's no such thing. Okay, let me think. To learn the game, you'll need at least 2 character cards to switch between. Oh, that reminds me. A few days ago, when I was closing up for the night, I noticed a customer had left a couple of character cards on the bar counter. Maybe you could use those for now.
Are you sure that's okay?
It's already been a few days and he still hasn't come back to claim them. Who knows? Maybe he left them here on purpose. Oh, okay, yeah, I got them here with me. Just in case the customer came looking for them. Yeah, not because I like to play the game or anything. Please.
All right, so now we have 2 character cards. That's everything we need, right?
Yep. So, are you ready to start? All right, then let's begin. Welcome to the world of Genius Invocation TCG. Simply put, this is a game where you control character cards to duke it out with your opponent. Pew, pew, pew. Once you've defeated all of your opponent's character cards, victory shall be yours. Now then, you're gonna need a character on the field to start with.
Let's finish this, swiftly.
First, we roll 8 elemental dice at the start of every round. These dice correspond to elemental energy. We'll be spending these dice to perform actions. Once the roll phase is over, you'll enter the action phase, where the real game starts. During the action phase, you can spend elemental dice to perform various actions. Of course, the most common action is to use character skills. Not bad. You just made your first attack. During the action phase, both sides will take turns making their moves. After you use a skill to attack your opponent, it's their turn to attack. And as you can see, once the enemy finishes their move, it's our turn again. Now, these are omni-element dice. They can be spent on any move regardless of the elemental type. So, we're gonna use them to pay for the pyro dice needed for this skill. That was pretty good. That's one opponent down for the count. Bam! But the game has only just begun. Remember? You have to defeat all opponents to win. As much as we'd like to attack again, seems like we've run out of usable dice. In that case, let's end this round. After you end round, you won't be able to do anything else this round. And once everyone chooses end round, we can move on to the next round. All right, here we are, a fresh new round. Woohoo! And a fresh new round means time to roll the dice again. That's how we're gonna get the elemental energy we need, after all. Ooh, that's some terrible luck. Well, there's no way we'll be able to use diluc skill now. But don't worry, situations like these are why we have the option to reroll. Once per round, you can select all the dice that you don't like and reroll them. When the action phase begins, the player who first chose end round in the previous round takes their turn first. This means that since you finished first the last round, you'll be the first to start this round. Alrighty then, let's learn a little bit about energy and elemental bursts. Each time you use a skill, your character will gain 1 energy. Once diluc's energy is full, he can use a powerful elemental burst. But we're still 1 short. Never mind. Let's start with a normal attack instead. Diluc's normal attack only needs 1 pyro die and 2 other dice of any type. In any case, your normal attack needs fewer pyro dice than your elemental skill. Now we have 3 energy, plus we have enough pyro elemental dice left over. It's time to use your powerful elemental burst!
Burn!
In an actual game of Genius Invocation TCG, you need to use multiple character cards to form a party. Next up, it's time for your second character card. Kaya to take the stage. It seems like any move by Kaya is gonna cost quite a lot of cryo dice. When you deal cryo damage, you'll cause your target to be affected by cryo.
Freeze!
Good! Now our opponent is affected by cryo. This is a good time to learn about elemental reactions. Different types of elemental damage affect enemies with different elements. When a character is affected by certain elemental combos, an elemental reaction will be triggered. At the moment, your opponent is affected by cryo, so we should try and use a pyro skill on them. Looks like we have to switch active characters, though. Oh, that reminds me. Both sides must have one active character, while others are considered standby characters. Normally, we can only use the active character skills. Now, if we want to use the skills of our standby character, we'll have to switch them to the active character. In this case, we'll have to switch to diluc in order to use his skills. You can spend one elemental die of any kind to switch a standby character to the active character.
Let's finish this, swiftly.
Switching characters is an action just like using a skill. So once it's done, it's your opponent's turn. Most skills can only target the active... Alright then, now that diluc is our active character, it's time to use his skill. Because the opponent is already affected by cryo, dealing pyro damage triggers the melt elemental reaction. When triggered, melt increases damage dealt by 2. This will allow you to deal loads of damage in one go! Haha! Genius Invocation's elemental reaction system is pretty cool, huh? Next up, let's learn how to use card types other than character cards. These cards are all known as action cards. Each time a match starts, you have to draw 5 action cards to form your starting hand. Uh-oh. Looks like we don't have any elemental dice we can spend to make an attack. Seriously? We still don't have any usable dice even after that reroll? Well, never mind. Even in cases like this, we can still attack. We just need to put the action cards in our hand to good use. Don't underestimate action cards. They can grant all kinds of support and buffs to your active character. Take this one, for example. So playing this act, some other cards will cost you these instead. The cost requirements for these are much more lenient. You can spend any kind of elemental dice. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, though. For now, Just play this action card. So, playing an action card from your hand is a form of fast action. Fast actions do not end your current turn. Simply put, you can continue to act even after playing an action card. Well then, you have your blade. Time to test it out. But wait, Diluc's elemental skill costs 3 pyro dice, and right now, we don't even have 1. Well, not a problem. This is where we can use a more advanced mechanic known as elemental tuning. By discarding 1 card from your hand, you can convert 1 elemental die into the element of your current active character. And this card isn't useful right now, so we might as well use it for elemental tuning. Sometimes you won't be able to perform any actions you want to because you didn't roll the elemental dice you wanted. Oh well. Moving on. Ingenious Invocation TCG. Keeping up a constant flow of combat is much more important than the number of cards you have. In this case, well, let's just take all these useless cards and use them for elemental tuning. Just like playing cards from your hand, elemental tuning is a fast action. Come on, hurry up! Use elemental tuning to get yourself 3 pyro dice. Would you look at that? Finally, we now have enough elemental dice to use Searing Onslaught. Because you have the White Iron Greatsword equipped, Searing Onslaught will deal 1 extra damage! What? Now comes the final part! Hoo-yeah! In a real match, you can make adjustments to your initial hand. At this time, we can select any number of cards in our hand to shuffle back into the draw pile, and then draw the same number of new cards. What? Once you have confirmed any adjustments you wish to make to your starting hand, both players have to select their starting active character at the same time. Oh boy, this one's a real doozy. We gotta take it out pronto. Let's see how you do this time. Remember, start by selecting your initial starting character.
Ready when you are.
Look at you! You sure are getting the hang of these rolls. Now let me teach you one last trick, free of charge. You can preview your opponent's actions. That is to say, you can read their intent. Check it out. So here's where you can see all your opponent's intentions for this round. All your opponent's intended actions for the round will be listed here in order. Reference this to come up with effective countermeasures and easily defeat your opponents. Well then, that's the end of the tutorial. You're on your own from here. May victory be yours. Wait. There's one more thing I almost forgot. Every time you hit an end phase, you get to draw 2 cards from your action cards pile. Remember, you have to make use of both your elemental dice and your action cards to win.
Don't get frostbite.
Let's finish this, swiftly.
All right, cool. Those are the basics. Did you get all that? What we just played was an adventure challenge designed specially for new players. Genius Invocation TCG can be played in duel mode, where each player brings 3 character cards, or in adventure challenge mode, with a fixed deck for each challenge. But the rules are all the same. As long as you understand the basics, then you should be able to take on any of those rowdy booze hounds.
Although I feel there are still many details to grasp, I think I understand the basic premise of the game now.
That was quite the detailed explanation. I didn't know the Cat's Tail's famous mixologist had such an eclectic skill set.
What? Oh, when did you get here?
I stepped in while you were in the middle of your explanation. I hope I didn't dampen the mood.
You snuck in without making a sound! Anyway, what are you doing here?
The Cat's Tail is a player in Mondstadt's alcohol industry. Naturally, you have some collaboration with my winery. I'm here today to discuss a few items of business with Margaret.
Too bad she just left. But if you head off right now, you might still catch up with her.
Never mind, it's nothing urgent. In fact, I think I'm now more interested in this card that you're using to teach them the game.
Wait, this card? It's diluc's character card!
Although I have some degree of experience with Genius Invocation TCG, seeing this particular card is a first for me.
A customer left it behind a few days ago, but he wasn't even playing the game while he was here.
Oh? And what sort of a customer was he?
He wasn't wearing an eye patch, okay? He had a light complexion and a super serious look on his face. He wasn't much of a talker and looked like he was just drinking his worries away. Never seen him around here before.
Eye patch, you say?
Gah! I was trying to give the opposite description, but I just ended up giving it away. Sorry, guard captain.
Don't worry. Somehow, I don't think he'll be giving you any trouble over it.
So, what about the diluc character card?
I don't mind. It's just a card with my image on it.
I didn't expect diluc to be familiar with Genius Invocation TCG.
The game has been catching on lately. It's hard to go anywhere without hearing it mentioned. Every now and then, I'll sit down and play a game with the customers in Angel's Share. I was hoping we could play a game, but this issue of someone leaving a character card with my image of the Cat's Tail is very intriguing. It's getting late, and someone has some explaining to do. We'll have to have that duel another time. Good. Then I'll take my leave.
You know where the door is. Don't let the door hit you where Lord Barbados split you. Uh-oh. Guard captain.
I hope Kaya will be alright. Well, now that we are familiar with the rules, why don't we try playing a game of Genius Invocation TCG?
Ooh, 2 new players having their first ever duel. This sounds like fun. But In order to play an official duel, you need to have 3 character cards. Remember, a complete deck has to have 3 character cards and 30 action cards. Got it?
Then, let's use my cards. These were mixed in with all the others I had received. And I didn't know what they were for at first. But now that we've learned the rules, I can see that this one must be the Sucrose character card. Now, it looks like we each have the Kaya, Diluc, and Sucrose character cards. So why don't we have our first duel? Take your time. I look forward to our first duel.
If only you could cleanse the corrupt souls of this world. Rain, if only you could cleanse the corrupt...
We're finally here. The entrance should be nearby.
Whoa! Where'd the Torii Gate come from?
It's getting worse again. But it's fine. I'm about to put an end to it all. This is a place I once sealed off with my own hands. The entrance to Raiden Makoto's realm of consciousness. It looks like she will no longer allow me to do with this body as I please.
Huh? What are you talking about? And who is she? Makoto?
Follow me.
Where are we going? Whoa. This place... Look! Look over there! It's another A!
We meet again, traveler. This body is an assistant to the One Within, but it is also the guardian of the rules. Should the One Within wish to stray from the rules, this body shall stand in her way.
Wait! Paimon knows that voice! Is that... the puppet?
You have wandered the realm in my body, and you appear to have grasped the true essence of eternity. You believe your present self has greater certainty than your former self. Thus, you believe your present self is correct, don't you? But have you really been enlightened with new ideas? Or have you been degraded by irreversible erosion? I'm here to show you my answer. We are both warriors, and the dialogue we must now have shall be conducted by the blade alone.
Wait! The atmosphere in here just took a turn for the worse! Are you alright now?
The discomfort I was experiencing earlier was caused by the Shogun rejecting my continued use of her body. As she indicates, once I started entertaining the idea of change, I became hostile in her eyes. But inside a realm of consciousness, I exist independently of her. She cannot affect me in this way. Though she is a puppet, the Shogun has her own consciousness too. When necessary, she appears here to confront me.
Paimon gets that everyone has their internal battles and stuff, but not like this! It's a bit extreme! Hey, showdown with the Shogun? Never thought we'd see that day!
The rules I set for the Shogun are... No. The Shogun herself is the manifestation of my past ideals. The very foundation stone of eternity. It shall not be easily swayed. I would not try to change her if it wasn't necessary.
Isn't there any other way? Can't you talk it through or something? But they both just want the best for Inazuma.
My form is a symbol of supreme majesty, in which has been vested power over all the realm. It is the cohesive embodiment of all that constitutes the Raiden Shogun. It inherits Ei's pain, the pain of inevitable loss that comes as she moves forward. So too does it inherit her determination to reach eternity. Every action undertaken is for the sake of resisting erosion. Determination, courage, love, hatred, all of these will be degraded and distorted by the incessant flow of time. Only rules shall remain constant for eternity. Those were my thoughts when I created you. Now, they are towering obstacles that I have no choice but to overcome. You wish to make yourself my enemy? I am your past, the everlasting law, the guardian of eternity. And I am she who promised a dream to her subjects. Raiden A. In the end, even the proud and mighty Oni maiden was cut down and disgraced. Though your blade has been cleansed of her blood and filth, never shall it shine as brightly as it once did. Weak, there is no escape! Pathetic. Absurd! Insolent! Now you shall perish! Inferior! The eye sweeps the land! Illusion shattered! Strike dead! Torn to oblivion! The kitsune sakura blossoms that once filled the skies fell to the ground as pitch-black rain. As long as the ley lines flow, the relentless erosion of time will never stop.
She's completely recovered?
The verdict is decided. This
Now
one,
you shall
the
perish.
fleeting shadow.
There is no escape.
Pathetic.
Torn to oblivion.
Your verdict is decided. The divine lightning that envelops all of Inazuma will fade silently into the clouds. There shall never be another. Never. For the rest of time.
Inazuma shines eternal.
I shall not fall here.
Strike dead. Illusion shattered.
Weak. The eye sweeps the lands.
There is no escape.
Pathetic.
Torn to oblivion.
Euthymia crumbles before.
Have you finally defeated her?
It appears your martial prowess has not dulled. But how long can your will remain strong?
How the heck?
In this realm of consciousness, her existence is tenacious indeed. She was built to resist erosion. Her will is stronger than any other living being's, including you and me.
Then, does that mean this is gonna be a never-ending battle?
Maybe. But I have to prove to her that my present will is no product of erosion. The future I shall forge will be a grand undertaking, one that will be resistant to erosion. If I don't do this, the Shogun's rules can never change, and Inazuma can never move forward. This is my duty. No matter how long this battle may last, months, years, centuries, and no matter how many times we must fight, I will defeat her. 500 years ago, humanity proved their strength in battle. Here in the present, they rely on their ambition to challenge wayward practices, tear them out like the diseased wood of an old sakura tree, so that new, healthy branches might spring to life in their place. It is about time that I learned to trust them. I understand that. But if the dreams of which Makoto spoke are true eternity, a short moment for which the Shogun does not exist is nothing to fear. I fight for the everlasting future of Inazuma. However long the battle may last, it is but a drop in the ocean of eternity. I vow to the subjects of Inazuma that I shall one day return. This is my oath. Please, be my witness. During my absence, I place everything in Miko's hands.
But this means that...
Pass on my words.
Looks like we got kicked out. Oh, what do we do? Are we really just gonna leave A and the Shogun to keep on duking it out in there forever? She was making sense, and maybe this is the only way to change the Shogun's rules, but still... Also, A can be pretty stubborn at times and has a history of rushing into difficult situations. What if she gets too obsessed with winning and she forgets why she's there in the first place? It could happen, and then she might never leave again. Yeah, we should help her out, like we did last time. The quicker she gets through this, the better. Is there any way we can cut down how long she needs to spend in there? Or, help her win the fight? Well, whatever. We can't let anything bad happen to A while she's in there. Oh, but we also can't get in there anymore. Okay, well, first things first. We gotta find a way back in. Oh, come on, brain juice. Don't feel Paimon now. Okay, maybe if we both ram into it at the same time really, really hard. Oh, you're right. Paimon nearly forgot about her. Who knows if she really understands these consciousness realm playing thingies more than we do, but there's no one else we can turn to. All right, up the mountain we go.
Someone's not in the best of moods. Let me guess. You're all tangled up in another situation and need me to unravel it for you. I hope you realize how lucky you are. If it was anyone else, I don't think I'd have the patience to keep greeting them with a smile after the first few times.
But you're always smiling.
That was a figure of speech, do you understand? Nitpicking my turns of phrase. The sheer audacity.
Oh, yeah. Something really big's happened. It's A. She...
Oh, okay, I see. So, A's decided to palm Inazuma off on the humans, while she goes off on her own to fight a fierce battle that doesn't even have an end date. Impossibly stubborn. Jumps straight to the most extreme course of action imaginable, presumes her sheer will can see her through, despite a near impossible goal that requires nothing short of the very peak of her abilities. Yes, that sounds like A all right. You know as well as I do that she's always been like this. Why start fretting about it now? Rushed into it without thinking. Well put. Oh, she acts like such a child sometimes. So you seem to be under the impression that I am able to offer some sort of help? Who gave you that idea?
Is she playing dumb? She's doing this on purpose, for sure.
Uh-huh. You're learning, little one. But really, the truth of the matter is that I don't know much more about Raiden Makoto's realm of consciousness than you do. All I know is that it's the foundation of the sacred Sakura, and from what I've heard, it's a little different from A's plane of euthymia.
Because Raiden Makoto is no longer alive?
Not just because of that. The nature of the space itself is different in some way. But I can only speculate. You're the ones who have actually been there, so you tell me. What was it like? Anyway, we needn't worry about the details too much. It'll just be a little difficult to explain things later on, that's all. First things first. Follow me to the entrance. Now then, I always have my ways. It's just a question of how crafty I need to be. To the outsider, the realm of consciousness is a very abstract concept. Luckily, I'm A's familiar, so I can sense her rough whereabouts. In other words, even though I can't pinpoint the exact spatial location of this realm, I can still send you to where A is.
So, it's abstract, but has a location, but you don't know where it is, but you can still send us there. What?
Yes, no need to try and understand it. Let me put this simply. Right now, she is surrounded by chaos. Everything is turbulent and disordered. If you try to force your way in, you could be swept away by a giant wave that sets you down in an unknown corner of space-time. This is precisely why when entering the plane of euthymia, it's much safer if you place your consciousness in a physical object first.
What? Alright, well, Paimon, stay here then. You two can go in.
Suit yourself. Worst case scenario, all we stand to lose is A. So what's the big deal?
You... Paimon's had it up to here with both of you! Fine. Paimon's coming too.
Oh. Well, if you're quite sure, then of course. Now, I shall send you on your way. I say. Oh, nothing. It just seems extraordinarily chaotic, that's all. My suspicions have been confirmed. By the way, remember to focus constantly on your heartfelt wishes when you enter inside. Only a strong enough will can prevent you from being swallowed by the giant waves of abstract space. Only if you are strong enough can I deliver you to the right destination. Well then, the door is open. Hop on in. I'll stay outside and provide what stability I can. I'll be ready to respond if anything happens. I'm placing my god in your capable hands. For my sake, and for Inazuma's, please. Bring her back.
Miko, you better know what you're doing!
That's enough chatter. Get to work. Remember to focus constantly on your heartfelt wishes when you enter inside. Only if you are strong enough can I deliver you to the right destination.
How can this be? You have returned. But how were you able to get back in? And how come you have not changed at all in all these years? This is a duel to remember. It is as if we have returned to the moment when the laws of eternity were first established. Your will today is as strong as it was back then. Over countless battles, not once have you lost, and never have you shown the slightest hesitation. Had I made all enemies of eternity stand against you, you still would not have wavered. For your firm commitment to enforcing the rules, you have my admiration too. You bring honor to the title of Guardian of Eternity. Now these two return once more to this space. An inevitability of fate, perhaps. Then, let this be our final duel, the conclusion to that which began 500 years ago. Final duel? So you're finally willing to... Stand back, traveler. I'm going to be the start of something new. The time our duels took to fight was long enough to witness the rise and fall of nations. The energy they consumed, great enough to vaporize the oceans and turn day into night. And the will they demanded, sufficient to penetrate minds and crush dreams. You have endured. I will endure forever. Witness the final calamity. Illusion. The will I carry within me will never be eroded nor destroyed. There is no escape! Eternity is in my hands! In spirit! Illusion shattered! Perish! In spirit! This is the end. You have won. I believed you were incapable of transcending the past. But it seems my belief was baseless, and I underestimated your spirit. But a will that cannot be eroded has no way to embrace the future. You need not worry about the future, and you aren't alone. I know your power more than anyone else. Had I relied upon my strength alone, I would have lost this duel for sure. Yet, my reason for fighting redefined my martial prowess and redrew my limits. I now carry the gaze of the myriad of expectant eyes that look to the light in the heavens. And whenever I think of this, I feel something stirring within Musou Ishin. The blade that I inherited from Makoto seems to be trying to guide me, to encourage me. I noticed it also. Just now in the heat of battle, it seemed to unleash a new and unfamiliar power. This power is beyond the limits of my understanding. This blade belonged to Makoto. Perhaps it can only respond to me with its full power when I truly understand and believe in her. When I clasped Musou Ishin in my hands, I had the feeling that she was by my side once again. It was at once a familiar feeling and a strange one. Makoto barely wielded a blade in her life, and yet her blade brings me closer to her. You have my approval. Your present will is not the product of erosion. I shall no longer stop you from attempting to modify the rules. From this day forth, this body will remain your assistant. I won't design any more rules that can never be changed. You used to represent my past, but from today onward, you are me. Makoto never saw me as a fearless weapon. Likewise, I should not regard you as a mere tool. You truly have changed. I suppose this is what humans call growth. I understand. I shall become your shadow, just as you were once Makoto's shadow. The duties I perform will not change. But as a warrior, I look forward to the chance to fight like this again in the future. Do you say this because you have not yet reconciled yourself with your defeat? It was simply a new experience for me. One that is worth reliving.
Have you finished fighting then? Like, for real this time?
Hello, A. And greetings, those who have come to bear witness. I am Raiden Makoto, the previous Electro Archon, who failed in my duties and left you all to pick up the pieces. Makoto? I'm so happy. You've come so far. I always knew you would make it here in the end. I left a faint fragment of my will in Muso Ishin, so that in the moment that you unleashed its full power, I too would be released. A convoluted way to reach you, but... well, you held such deeply entrenched views at the time that you wouldn't have listened to a word I said. There was no time to wait for you to have a change of heart. Please forgive me. All I could do was find some way to wait until you came to me. But... you never mentioned this to me. Everything happened so suddenly. I'm sorry. I've always felt terrible for having to entrust Inazuma to you all of a sudden. I should have been the one to impart these ideas to you, a little at a time, to dissuade you from your pursuit of stillness. Did you know what was about to happen in Conria? I had some sense of it. That place was not somewhere that any Archon could afford to ignore. In my present form, I can no longer perceive time. I don't know how long we have been separated before this reunion, and I don't know what Inazuma has experienced in the meantime. But I know that this must have been an extremely arduous journey for you. And I'm sure you must have wanted to shed tears many times along the way. Don't look down on me. See? You admit it. It was with this possibility in mind that I left a parting gift for you. Something to soothe Inazuma's pain. Here, take it, before my last shred of consciousness fades away. But it is you who must take the most important step.
The light turned into a seed?
The miracle tree that blesses the people, in this moment new to the world and yet to be known. When to plant it, where it shall bloom. She who brings it into being must let her heart and dreams decide. Grant it life, eh? Is it really? Eternity extends time into infinity. Dreams illuminate each moment within. When both shine in unison, the sacred Sakura blooms from the darkness, finally free from the clutches of the heavenly principles. Now the nightmare has dissipated, and reality is made whole. The vision we both yearn for is still further ahead. My only regret is that I cannot witness Inazuma's future, nor can I walk this journey with you. Do you know, A? I am so happy right now, because my final wish has now come true. Your polearm once protected me from countless calamities. For this, I've always felt indebted to you. Though I could never repay you in full, this sacred Sakura will buy you some time
until you are ready to awaken and embrace the new. What do you think? Did it do the trick? This time, it really is goodbye, eh?
Goodbye, Makoto.
So the A of the present planted the sacred sakura in the realm of consciousness, and it took root in the Inazuma of the past. No matter what you make of it, it's quite incredible.
All of this is thanks to Makoto's power. Her understanding of eternity is much more profound than mine. Eternity is a concept intimately connected with time. When you begin to touch on eternity, the concept of time becomes murky.
A place where time is meaningless and cannot be understood with ordinary logic. So that was the turbulence I was sensing. Perhaps that is the reason why you were able to return precisely to this point in time without any problems. And yet, that sense of disorderliness has now completely disappeared.
I don't fully understand yet. But my intuition tells me that the reason for everything, it's that seed.
Well, I'm not convinced that it was Makoto's power alone.
Without the sacred sakura, Inazuma would likely have been completely swallowed up centuries ago by that disaster and the filth.
I know you've always perceived there was something special about the sacred sakura, but to me, it has always been there. You've tried in the past to prove to me that there's a connection between the sacred sakura and Makoto's consciousness, but unfortunately, you never did persuade me, did you?
No. But I understand why now. It was because the sacred sakura hadn't even been planted then.
But don't you think that tree looked a lot different than how it does now?
The sacred sakura is within my purview at the shrine, so obviously I get to prune it exactly how I like it.
Ugh. Now we see who's pulling the strings.
I'm joking. That tree has been through a lot since it first sprouted. We have the loving care of Kitsune over the ages to thank for how it appears today. And obviously I played my part too. It's fair to say that very little time passed between the moment you came out of that realm and the moment you re-entered it. But in that same time, centuries of battling took place on the inside, did it not? Traveler, if I'm guessing correctly, you were repeating your wishes to yourself in your mind, weren't you? At that time, I could sense A's whereabouts, but I also sensed anomalies in the flow of time within that space. Suffice to say, time added a whole new dimension to our search. Simply establishing a location was not sufficient. Fortunately, your will was strong enough that the turbulence carried you to the moment in time most likely to be the intersection of all that you were wishing for. The flow of turbulence may well have been influenced by Makoto, but it took everyone's efforts combined to ultimately help A. So this time, it looks like thanks are due to you.
Does that mean it wasn't by chance that we ended up at the final duel? We were always meant to be there to witness what was going to happen?
I thought that the flow of time was the same on the inside and the outside, so it was a great shock to me when the traveler reappeared. My first thought was, has a great disaster befallen Inazuma? But it turned out you had come to rescue me. You came for my sake, to help me reach the best possible outcome. You too have my thanks. You have done much for me, and I will never forget it.
Hey, how are you feeling now?
My body has fully recovered, and the Shogun's will no longer fights against me.
Always thrilled to hear you're in good health. But I was really asking about your emotions. Have you managed to calm down? After all, you saw Makoto in there, didn't you?
I only heard her voice. I wouldn't say I saw her. I'll be fine. It brought a few things back, of course, but I've made my decision to move forward. I have to say, this has reminded me once again just how brilliant Makoto was. She predicted all the ways in which Inazuma's future could unfold, all the way back then. She even factored my immaturity into her plan. It's all thanks to her that Inazuma lived to see this day. I just planted a seed.
Yeah, it was thanks to everything you did that you got to see her again. That's amazing!
Thank you.
Today, at long last, you and Inazuma finally emerge from the shadows cast by the events of centuries past. Makoto and you are Inazuma's past and future, and both are indispensable.
It's rare to hear such comforting words from you. I graciously accept them.
Oh, come on. You only think it's rare because you never used to listen to a word I say.
Makoto said the exact same thing!
Great minds think alike, hmm? I wonder, does that qualify me to, maybe, take the position of Shogun for a couple of days? Actually, no. Forget that. Far more trouble than it's worth.
We will have to end the frivolities there. There is much work to be done. The Shogun and I will closely review the Inazuma of today to find out where things currently stand. Then, we will give careful consideration to the future. After that, I will abolish the Sakoku decree.
Really? That's huge news!
I am no longer pursuing an eternity defined by stasis. In which case, there is no further need to keep the nation under lock and key. I don't doubt that many challenges lie ahead for Inazuma. I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, Traveler! Remember that pit at the bottom of the chasm? You know, the one that the giant pillar smashed into. Paimon took a quick peek before we left last time. There was some kind of light coming from inside. Don't you think that's a little strange? Oh, so you've been wondering about that too, huh? Now that we have some time on our hands, let's go and take another look.
May the blossoms of the sacred Sakura bloom eternally.
Many challenges still lie ahead for Inazuma, but I am prepared for them.
Yae Miko said nothing of the sort, and the Traveler has some nerve making up spurious claims about her while she is still present. Some words are not to be passed on. Trust me, you don't want to know the cost of betraying me. Just think of the things I said to you as our little secret. Understood?
What are you talking about?
Nothing. Ooh, I suddenly want some fried tofu.
Many challenges still lie ahead for Inazuma, but I am prepared for them.
We'll need more where that came from.
Whoa. Well, this place is just as creepy as Paimon remembers it. If it wasn't for our little investigation, Paimon wouldn't ever come anywhere near this place. Huh? Hey, look! There's someone over there!